or a friendly comic fan with $5 says thoughts on EVS. That's Ethan Van Sciver. I think I was not familiar with him until he called me one Friday night at like 11:50 at night. This was after I got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize that said Rekieta N on it. This was the day he got out of jail. I guess they were trying to call me. One of them said Ethan Van Sciver. The other one had Nick's number on it. So I think there was, in my opinion, there was probably drinking and drugs and the decision to call me late at night. And this is before I had talked about the cover and all that stuff. I think they were probably trying to get me to shut the fuck up. But, no offense, guys. You've been threatening. Not only have you been threatening, but you've been humiliating not only yourselves, but me for the last week. Sorry. No, I'm not on your team. But he says, thoughts on EVS saying the 16-year-old should have stepped up and taken care of the kids and cleaned the home so you guys could keep partying. Let me say this about Ethan Van Sciver. And there's a lot of people in our chat who are this way, and I almost don't blame them because really I don't know them well enough. There are people who feel like they owe Nick Rekieta. And let me tell you something about Nick Rekieta. He keeps score. Nick told me on many different occasions how fucking hurt and offended and upset he was that certain people that he had raised lots of money for criticize him now. That people, he always measured things in money. He always measured things in what he'd done for people. And it was always money and followers. I'd gotten them this many followers. I'd gotten them this much money. And now they're criticizing me. Well, it goes that Rocky 3 line, friends don't owe, they do because they want to do. If you tell me that you're raising a bunch of money for me so that I'll be in your debt forever, then I'm going to ask you to not raise money for me. If you're going to get me a shitload of followers because then I'll never be able to criticize you if you do something wrong, then I'm not going to accept your help. I don't want conditional help, and the condition is my eternal servitude. But he would always talk about people that way. And then, obviously, I think I was supposed to fall in that line. Well, the problem is I never gained any followers from being a friend. I never made any money from we were just friends. We hung out. We barely ever talked about streaming shit. We were pals. I mean, it's a terrible way to start a friendship, but we were friends. And, the way he would talk about like how he made money for people and how he made followers for people and how that somehow should translate into this blind loyalty, I think is kind of a sick way to live. And he also always said, and he said this publicly, he feels like he has to buy his friends. He has to buy them things or treat them to things and things like that. And that's, maybe that's what the alcohol and the drugs is masking partially, because that does sound like a sad way to live. So as far as Ethan Van Sciver saying the 16-year-old should have stepped up and taken care of the kids and cleaned the home so we could keep partying, that's Ethan Van Sciver selling his soul to Nick Rekieta and feeling like he has to defend him.
Is that what someone said? For real?
That's what Ethan Van Sciver said. Yeah, I've heard that clip from the Kino Casino boys.
I keep bringing up the 16-year-old, thinking like, what the hell? That kid's probably traumatized. Like that's almost an adult.
Yeah.
Thinking like, what are my freaking parents doing? This is bizarre.
Yeah. Ethan Van Sciver saying that. Like, I don't really think there needs to be much commentary or calling out on that because people see what something like that is, That's
horrible, yeah.
That's
Poor
just...
kid. Yeah.
Oof.
And he is still a kid.